you're welcome to the channel and thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and also hit on the notification bell. It's really very important. Thank you.
I have a message for all the Christians. A Christian sister asked me a question. And what is her question? She wants to know why people are insulting pastors on social media. According to her heart bleeds anytime she reads comments and sees the way people are disrespecting these pastors that are supposed to be respected. And she seriously needs answers to the question. My sister, I will give you answers to the best of my knowledge. But let me briefly say this. My beloved Christians that has been sitting down at home ever since this coronavirus pandemic started, how strong is your relationship with God now? Since you have stopped going to church for the past 2 to 3 weeks, getting to a month. Are you still feeling the presence of God around you? I'm asking the Christians and I need answers. Now, my sister, let me answer you. The reason people are insulting your pastors on social media is because your pastors do not practice what they preach. Your pastors are not living the life of Christ. And you should also understand that there are differences between pastors and men of God, a man of God, a man called by God. And the people you should be respecting today is a man called by God, and that's your friend that is insulting that pastor. Should I tell you why you should hug that your friend that is insulting the pastor? Because your friend is seeing the light. You are only seeing darkness. The moment you come out from the bondage you are in, you will understand what your friend is doing. You are still under a cage. You are still in a cage. You are still mentally enslaved. The moment you come out from that problem you are in, you will know that your friend is doing you a favor by helping you to insult some pastors or the pastors. Now, your pastors will give you tracts and tell you to hang it on the door while he moves around with army, police, navy, SSS, DSS, and soldiers and leave you at the mercy of that little tract. That is why people are not taking your pastors seriously. And even though people are still insulting pastors, there are some men of God, anyway, I've already differentiated them. There are some men of God you cannot insult. When you see them, you see a pure reflection of Christ in them. Your pastors are not humble. They are proud. They are arrogant. They see themselves as demigod. That is why they can never be respected. Look at the way they display on social media. They behave like touts and aburu. Who sees somebody like that and respect the person? Nobody. The reason your pastors are not respected is because your pastors have turned the churches, the so-called churches, to a business center. The church is now profit-oriented. That is why they don't take them seriously. They see them and politicians as 5 and 6. And they see the politicians and the pastors as the major problem they are facing in Nigeria. And they see that your pastors are capitalizing on the problem of Nigeria to use it against you. Now, your pastor is selling oil of Galilee for 5,000, water of Bathsheba for 10,000, and also handkerchief for miracle. What is the significance of those things? When Jesus Christ was on earth, Christians, was there a time he sold oil and water to do healing? People are disrespecting your pastors because your pastors are entertainers. They now do show in their churches. Every pastor wants to raise the dead. Every pastor wants to do a miracle. Every pastor wants to heal the sick. When last did you go to church and your pastor is talking about salvation, telling you where your soul is going to? It's not happening again. They are only preaching prosperity, sow seed, offering and tithes to your tent, O Israel. Everybody goes. That is why they are disrespecting your pastors. They are disrespecting your pastors because the pastor will tell you, come as you are. That is why you will go to church and see naked women dressing half naked. Even the pastor wife is sitting down like a Jezebel. The ones that call themselves female pastors are painting their faces, painting their mouth. They are like queen of the coast, sitting down. And you are saying that these people should be respected. No. Anybody that is insulting pastors like this, go and hug the person. In fact, you need to dash the person money. I say it. My name is Lisa. I am saying it. The reason your pastors are not respected is because when your pastor is praying for a Yahoo boy to go outside the country and scam a white man and a white woman, why should they be respected? Are you now seeing the reason why people are not respecting your pastors? Most of you are just going to church to be shouting, "Ride on, pastor, ride on, pastor." You don't know any other thing. Most of you are not even supposed to be going to church because your life is so dirty. Most people that are pagans and atheists are living a better life more than you that claim you are Christian. Are you now understanding what is happening? That is why people are disrespecting your pastors. And your pastors are telling you that men are scarce. Men are not actually scarce. They tell you that God will give you your own husband. Because Nigeria is not giving the youth jobs, that is why your husbands are not coming. Do you understand that they are using the deplorable state of Nigeria to take money and extort money from you? You are now going to church to be entertained, not to do what? Hear the word of God. That is why most of you that are missing church today is just because you want to go and show the kind of clothes you are wearing. Most of your pastors are as good as just motivational speakers. They are not called by God, so try to differentiate them. People are insulting your pastors because most of them are upgraded native doctors. Are you now understanding it? I have a lot to say, but I have to stop here so that you can also contribute yours. But let me summarize by saying, after this coronavirus pandemic, if the church you are going to now is not helping your spiritual life, if you notice you are not growing in Christ, don't go to that church any longer. Stop. These are the churches you should be avoiding. These churches are the ones you should be avoiding in this year 2020 to help you. Any church that you are going to and they are carrying POS around, stop going to that church. Scam alert. The house of God should not be a place for business transaction. Your church should not be a bank. Do not go to a church where they are using POS to pay tithe and offering, including sow seed. Any church that is not preaching salvation, sanctification, run away from such church. Because the Bible said, it's appointed unto man to die once, after with judgment. If your pastor is not telling you where you will spend your eternity, your pastor is a robber of your soul. He wants to rob you from your blessings. And that is going to heaven.
So that's the video, guys. Just to add to the things that she has said, I would not in any way advise you or advise anybody to insult pastors, either on social media or on air or wherever. I would not be the person to advise you to insult pastors. Although that she has rightfully categorized these people, okay? One, as the men of God, the people who are genuinely called by God to propagate the gospel, and then those of them who called themselves, okay, and they call themselves because of the profits they stand to gain by speaking to people, using the state of the country to manipulate people into listening to them and giving all that they have. But whatever be the case, I would not tell you, hey, go ahead and insult a pastor. You know why? Because even these pastors, they've got their own judgment. They've got their own promise, from God. The Bible said that, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. This is their own, that is for them and their God. Woe be unto them. So for every pastor who goes ahead to destroy people, every pastor who goes ahead to destroy people's destiny by not preaching the exact word that should be preached, it is for them and God. The Bible said, woe be unto them. So let us not be the ones to bring the woe unto them. Let us leave that woe to come to them from God. So I would not advise you to go ahead and insult pastors. But then the truth is that let people unlock their common sense. In the creation of the world, in the creation of human being, when God created we human beings, God did not create pastors and create the congregations separately. No, God created everybody as one. However, God called some people to serve him, and then those people who were called developed the passion and then decided to serve God. That does not make them a different level of human beings than we are. God has given each and every one of us a common sense. It is for you to unlock that common sense. You go to a church, like she said, and the things you see there do not, even if you do not read the Bible, when you see things that are being practiced and this thing cannot be in the Bible, even if you do not read the Bible, your common sense, if you have an unlocked common sense, should tell you that this should not be something that should be practiced. Common sense should tell you that, hey, this is not a place for me to belong in. Leave. But instead of unlocking that common sense, some people have decided to remain caged. She used the word caged. Some people have decided to remain caged by a pastor or by a church. If you unlock your common sense, there are certain practices in a church that will give you the red signal that this is not a place where I can grow spiritually, and you should leave. For Christ's sake, there is something called spirits of discernment. I understand maybe not everyone has got the spirit of discernment, but I strongly believe that everyone has a sense. Everyone should have common sense. Although some people say common sense is not common, but everyone should have common sense. That is why there is the word common before the sense. You go to a church where the pastor, I've seen several videos online. The pastor bathes himself in water and then uses the same water that he has bathed himself in to bathe the members of his church as part of deliverance. You go to church where the pastor would ask their members to eat grasses. You go to church where they sell, like she mentioned, they sell holy handkerchief, holy oil, holy water. Even some of them even have a swimming pool that they call holy swimming pool, that you have to pay money to get yourself in the swimming pool. Those sort of things. If you've got spirit of discernment, okay, let me not talk about spirit of discernment because that could be a bogus word for some people. But if you've got the common sense, your mind should speak to you that these things are not right. I just feel that people in this time, it is said that in the last days there'll be fake prophets, fake pastors, and all of that. It is well, as you can see on the pictures on the screen, if I keep talking about the ills going on in the church and in our society today, we will not end this video today because there are quite a lot of them to see. There are lots of ills going on to talk about. You can see all of them on the screen. I've not even mentioned any of them. So if I keep talking about each and every one of these, this video will be so long. The bottom line of this whole talk? People should upgrade their common sense, reason. Number 2, ask for the spirit of discernment. Pray to God to give you the spirit of discernment. And then number 3, it should not just be all about pastors. It should be more about God than it is about your pastor. It should not be all about churches. It should be about your spiritual growth than it is about your church and your pastor. May God help us really in these times. Anyway, guys, these are my thoughts. Please feel free to share your opinions in the comment section below. And please feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit on the notification bell, like and share the video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.